Hello, I am a 33-year-old male. My wife is 33-year-old female. Almost a month ago, my wife admitted to having a drunken one-night stand with two random men we met while on a heavy night of drinking during our extended stay in Europe. Even typing this seems like a fantasy. Some context. We have been together for 11 years and have been married for the last 2 years. My wife has been severely depressed for the last 5 years, unsatisfied with her career path and a lot of her surrounding life decisions. I have tried to support her through all this as best as I possibly could, but over the last 2 years, I have become fatigued with trying to support her. During this period, she has heavily relied on alcohol to escape her problems. I think we were definitely in a bit of a rut with our relationship during this time. We sought out couples counseling who encourage us to chase our dream life together, to reignite our zest for life in our relationship. My partner always had dreams of moving overseas for a period, so after some convincing, I decided to support her on this and take a year off from my career to do a working holiday with her overseas. I knew financially this was a bad idea, but she has backed my career in the past and moved to other parts of my country to support my work endeavors. So I went along with it willingly to support her. To cut it short, 4 months into this venture, her depression only deepened. We went out for dinner one night and met up with some tourists from the States. I ended up getting extremely drunk with them. They were 3 guys and 1 girl. They bought us a few drinks and were very friendly. At the end of the night, they invited us to an after party at their Airbnb. I remember being at their Airbnb and we started eating pizza and playing a board game. Somehow the board game became a truth and dare. I remember going to the bathroom and when I came out, I saw my girlfriend making out with one of the men. I wanted to flip out in anger and pounce on the guy, but everyone calmed me down, saying that it was just a game. My wife said it was a game. It was all fun and games to them, but not for me. I just saw the woman I love getting tongued down by a guy we met a few hours ago. I told her that it was time to leave, and we went home immediately. I got an Uber, and it was an awkward drive home, and she apologized and told me that it was just a game, and the alcohol made her do it. When we got home that night, I immediately passed out. I woke up around 4 a.m. and found out that my wife wasn't sleeping next to me. I thought she was in the bathroom, so I went to the bathroom to search for her, but she wasn't in there. I thought she was in the kitchen, so I didn't bother looking. I went back to bed to go to sleep, but before I did, I went to check my phone. But my phone wasn't where I left it. That was when I fully awake to find out what was going on. My phone is missing, and my wife is missing. Maybe she was checking my phone in the kitchen, I thought. I went looking for my wife in the kitchen, and she wasn't there. I went to the backyard, and she wasn't there either. I started to panic. I thought maybe I was dreaming. My mind was all over the place. What happened to her? I even looked under the bed. I couldn't call anyone because my phone was missing. I went to the closet to see if anything is missing, but nothing. I went outside to look around, to get my neighbors involved, but it was too early in the morning. I waited at the front of our apartment till about 6 a.m. I was knocking on my neighbor's door when my wife pulled up in an Uber. My neighbor came out and I apologized to him. I went to my wife and asked her where she was coming from and that I've been worried sick and waiting up for hours. She told me that she forgot her phone at the Airbnb and used my phone to get an Uber. She said she didn't want to wake me up because I was deeply asleep, so she decided to go alone. I asked her why she took too long, as the place is only about 15 minutes away. Her first lie was that she got tired and fell asleep there. When she knew I wasn't buying it, she changed her story to one of the guys hid her phone and asked her to stay till morning, otherwise he wouldn't give it to her. When I told her that I would go back there and kick his arse, she changed her story to she wanted to stay because she was tired and she wasn't forced to stay. I told her that I know she was lying and I wanted her to come clean on what happened. Otherwise, I would go back to the Airbnb and confront them myself. She then revealed to me that she made out with him repeatedly that night, and he may have touched her downstairs, but she can't remember. At this point, I knew something had happened, and she's going to continue trick-or-truthing me, and I wouldn't be able to find out the complete story. I decided the following day that I need to get to the bottom of the story, and if it takes going to confront them at their Airbnb, if they haven't left already, I will do it. She tried to stop me, but I took an Uber back to the Airbnb to find out what went on. When I arrived, I looked for a wooden branch from a tree that I found around the corner to protect myself. Then I knocked on the door. The door was answered by one of the guys, but not the one that made out with her. He tried to force the door shut after he opened it, but I was quick enough to push the door back and forced it open and threatened him with the stick. I demanded answers. Even though my wife didn't admit to excess, I presumed that she had excess and demanded why his friend forced his way on my wife. He became defensive, telling me that my wife forgot her phone and told them that I allowed her to come back to get it alone. From what he admitted, my wife not only had excess with the guy she made out with, but she also had excess with both men at the same time. She told me he insisted that they didn't force her. He even showed me pictures that they took while my wife was there, and she was happy and smiling on all the photos. I went home angry and confronted her, and she admitted to everything. So what really happened is that she apparently forgot her phone and took that opportunity to finish what she started earlier in the evening. When she went to the Airbnb, she didn't want to leave after she found her phone and continued the party and started making out with the same guy. And the other guy joined in, and they took her to the bedroom and tag teamed her. The third guy and the girl were in a relationship, so they didn't take part in any of the shenanigans. She apologized and told me that it was the alcohol. I reminded her that she can't use the same excuse twice. I was in a really tough spot financially because I traveled all the way just because of her career. I was just so stunned at this. We have what I consider to be a very happy and healthy relationship. We are each other's bedrock, who supported each other through our good times and bad times, generally with a smile on our faces. She tells me it has nothing to do with her love for me or wanting to end our relationship. She said she's just so depressed that she wanted to escape herself for a moment, relieve her past of being young, single and carefree. She's so regretful and distraught, and she wants to do anything to show that she can rebuild us. Rationally, I understand this, and I believe her when she said she still loves me. But I just can't fathom how someone can love you so much and so selfishly give this away so easily. She begged me to stay, but needless to say, I caught an early flight back to the States, and I'm now jobless as I took 12-month extended leave of work. We have one vehicle, and it's registered in her name, but I have no apartment or place to go here in the States, and I am sleeping in a blow-up mattress at my mom's house. I feel worthless and betrayed. I sacrificed so much to support her in this overseas move, and the worst part is, I don't feel like I can open up to my family about what actually happened because I'm not ready to share it yet. Strangely enough, I feel like sharing it with strangers on the internet. We spoke on the phone the other day because I told her that I was going to file for divorce. I planned on telling my family, and she had begged me not to because she knows how harsh my family are and that they will never forgive her if they find out. I don't know if I want advice or guidance. I think I just want to be heard, as I feel I can't express what truly happened to many people in my life right now. I want to organize personal therapy ASAP because I feel like I have lost a huge part of me. I am ready to give up my old life, the life that I thought I shared with the love of my life, and I feel like I'm grieving so hard for our future also. She got a flight home after I told her that I was filing for divorce. She was trying to convince me that she would go to therapy and work on a whole range of personal issues, including the alcohol abuse. She's fully aware that she had made a mistake and takes personal responsibility for her actions. We do not have children, but we do own a house together. We took time in our 20s to study, travel, and work in various parts of our home country before settling down. Family planning was something we both wanted to do, and we were going to take our time figuring about starting a family. But honestly, we had other priorities, such as more fully establishing our careers and saving for our dream property. I think we can all agree that each people do things differently, and some people prioritize marriage, a house, and kids, etc., more than others. I was already mad about the kiss. Then she made a conscious effort to go back and excavate everything by effing not only one, but two guys. That's the part that kills me the most. Even if she was wasted, she made a conscious choice to go back. There is no coming back from this. No amount of therapy can fix this. I keep reliving that in my head, and it's effing me up. In regard to STD testing, I haven't engaged with her sexually in a way since that night. Even revealing just the initial kiss was enough to not make me want to go there. I am getting checked today for any STDs. I was thinking about asking her if she cheated on me before, because you can't just sleep with two guys at the same time as your first affair. But what's the point? We will be divorcing anyways. I often read posts from other people's infidelity stories, and I understand why people just stay and work things through. I do not think it's a black and white as she cheated, forget her forever. I think every person's story should be taken by case-to-case basis. But I know that I can't trust her ever again, and the image of her sleeping with two men would be hard to erase from memory, even though I wasn't there when it happened. I saw pictures of her with two men together. I will need some alone time to reassess my entire life because it would be hard to get over life without her. We have been together for a very long time. She had tried to meet up with me, but I am committed to ending it. What have been everyone's experience with divulging the cheating to friends and loved ones? I feel so sick lying to people about the details of what actually happened, but I feel like telling everyone I'm close with is shameful to me, not just her. It just annoys me that I have to tell a watered down story of why I decided to have a break and why we decided to come home early from this massive overseas venture. Thanks everyone. I appreciate all the wisdom. I haven't been on here lately. Even the thought of reading this stuff just brings up memories of the incident, which is too hard to bear right now. I have been in for therapy and I have been able to confide all the details of what happened to an emotional intelligent friend of mine, which was such a relief. Every day just sucks though. Nothing works as distraction. I cannot sleep at all. I find myself just passing out from sheer exhaustion rather than actually falling asleep. But in my hometown at my mom's house sucks. Makes me feel like I'm a teenager again. I know I just need time to process everything, but this is the early stage. It's just so rough. So here's my reaction to this. I don't think it's always a good idea to relocate because of the interests of the wife or the girlfriend or the fiance, unless she's making significantly more than you, and even then, it's an if. It's a very tricky situation because it shows that she is the dominant part of the relationship, and in the relationship, it tends to shift the dynamics of attraction. Not for all relationships, but most. Maybe there's an exception, but normally it doesn't end well, especially when there are kids involved. I'm sure you guys have heard about a lot of stories on this channel where you have a stay-at-home dad and the mom is working and she built up resentment because of it, and then she started having an affair, physical or emotional, with a coworker. That happens all the time when you have a stay-at-home dad and a provider mom, which I understand what the original poster was trying to do. He's trying to make his wife happy, but instead of finding the real reason why she was happy, he decided to move with her to another country. And then when they got to the country, she still wasn't happy, and she ended up cheating on him. Well, good thing that he decided to get a divorce. It's not always easy, especially having spending that much time with someone in a relationship. But when you have someone that tried to rationalize everything by blaming it on alcohol and trying to push the blame away from herself, then it's difficult for that kind of relationship to work out. But he should count himself lucky because they don't have kids together. So the divorce should be easier in terms of asset allocation and emotional attachment. Please don't forget to like this video for more content like this. Thank you and